For 5 weeks, the anticipation has been building. We have an awesome day of Overwatch. It is playoff time. Let's go.
The Atlanta Reign solidify this spot in the playoffs.
Boston Uprising going the distance. San Francisco Shock, one of the greatest holds I have ever seen.
The Fusion clinched their spot in the playoffs.
Congrats, Toronto fans. The Defiant are in the playoffs.
Seoul Dynasty complete the clean sweep. That's a 4-0. Oh, that was a sick charge. The bomb is there. They do it again. That is a huge kill. And the Titans will get the 7-0 in stage 1.
Absolute dominance here from this squad.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. I hope you guys are ready.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League Stage 1 playoffs. Joe and Monte Cristo here, and how about that? What a start to the playoffs. I don't think any of us predicted that Seoul was going to be able to pull that out, but they did, and it was awesome. That was a sick match.
It was really, really good. Very close match, and it is always exciting to see teams catch on fire at the start of these stage playoffs. And now, with the way Seoul's playing, who knows how deep this run is going to be. But enough about that, Doa.
Right, indeed. Let's take a look at how our bracket has kind of shaken down as we look ahead to Vancouver Titans versus Boston Uprising. So, the interesting thing is that now, if Vancouver wins, they'll get to dodge Shock. They would play Seoul instead. So that might be something good for them on their side of things.
I don't know. With the way we saw the Dynasty playing today.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Michelle's really good. What can you say? That was a sick match. We got to talk about our next one, though. I would love to keep talking about Seoul versus New York all day, but let's talk about the Vancouver Titans. These guys are obviously our #1 seed in Stage 1, coming over from Korea. They were Team Runaway. They metamorphosized. They Pokemon evolved into Vancouver Titans, and they have only gotten stronger. These guys are amazing.
Yeah, it's a good thing their name is no longer Runaway Doa, because that's the exact opposite of their play style. They are all in, the most aggressive triple tank, triple support team that we have in this league. Incredibly exciting to watch.
Yeah.
But as they noted on the pre-show, one thing that Fusion said coming into this match is that the Boston Uprising preferred to play Vancouver here in the first round over NYXL. They think they have an opportunity to really attack that support line.
I think a big part of that is the guy on your screen right now. Note, this guy's diva is insane, and Boston is so good at finding ways to get Note in on the flex support specifically and just wreck them, right?
Yeah, it's been really good for Note so far. They did show it in Watch Point beforehand to Shake Split, how he's able to consistently get into the back lines and eliminate those Zenyatas. He actually has the most Zenyatta kills of any diva in the league right now.
Yeah.
John is #2, and you know what? We swiped this from his desk before.
It's his Note death.
It's
of
exactly.
course. Yeah.
You can see he's got all of the names of the flex supports that he's managed to take out so far in this season. So he's going to have to write a couple more names, I think, in this tonight. Twilight needs to go in here if Boston Uprising are going to win.
I've got one of those at home, but it only has Brigitte written in it. Don't ask me. It hasn't worked yet. Anyway.
I think yours might be ineffective.
Could be. We'll see.
You should try the Note death instead.
I should give that one a try
There
next
you go.
time. We got to introduce our first team, Monty. Here we go. From the frigid Northeast. Give it up for the Boston Uprising. Here you go. Blase charge as Boston takes the stage, and they've had a great stage. And it's been interesting because they win through deception. They win through trickery. They are like the ninja stealth team. They're really fun to watch. I'm glad they're in the playoffs.
Me too, but it's very weird that they currently rank #18 out of 20 teams in this league in teamfight win percentage at 45%.
It's bizarre.
So they've been able to make the playoffs and win 4 of their matches through this trickery that you're talking about. And a lot of that comes down to Fusion's shot calling in the game and the excellence of their coaching staff to develop some very tricky plays. So we'll have our eyes on that tonight.
Well, they're going to need that and more if they're going to have any chance of taking down our #1 seed. Let's hear it for the Vancouver Titans. And here they come. The #1 seed we mentioned before. Squad from Korean contenders dominated over there under the name Runaway. Now Vancouver Titans dominating in the Overwatch League too. What can you say?
And I feel like they probably breathed a sigh of relief after that last match. It does,
I think a bit, yeah.
I think, make their road to a Stage 1 title significantly easier, not to have to go through the NYXL in order to get there, but may have thrown a little bit of their planning off now as well, because if they win tonight, they probably will be facing Seoul. So they probably haven't had a lot of time to think about that, and they're going to have to really reconsider their strategies going into Saturday.
Well, they've got some good footage to look at as far as Seoul's concerned with that match against New York. Seoul definitely putting it all out there. So Vancouver, they've got some time to study. But let's take a look at this tank matchup. It's going to be Bumper versus Fusions, and this is going to be a really, really interesting one. We've got kind of the Korean veteran coming in against Fusion, the rookie player for Boston, who has really been explosive on the scene. These guys are both so aggressive, so good at what they do, but who's going to win out in the end? It's kind of tough to tell.
Well, Bumper is sitting at #1 in terms of Reinhardt damage per 10 minutes right now. Fusion's mostly middle of the pack on his statistics, but for a team that's winning less than 50% of their team fights on average, being middle of the pack on Reinhardt is pretty good. And you can see Fusion's mouth, their motor mouth, moving 1,000,000 miles a minute, and that's really where his strength comes into this roster, is his creative shot calling.
1,000,000 miles a minute. Wow, that's even faster than 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's incredibly fast. But yeah, for someone to come into the league like this, remember, he was on that two-way contract with their contenders team, right? But they brought him up to the main roster, and he has been such a great addition after Gamsu left. And seeing him play against Bumper is going to be really great.
And look at that stat right there on your screen. Win rate after first death. Bumper's team still wins 25% of the fights when they're down Bumper in a 5 versus 6 or more. So that's pretty ridiculous. Obviously, fighting from a player down. On average in this meta, in this league, you're probably looking at maybe like a 17% win rate. And Bumper dies doesn't mean Vancouver is down for the count.
Yeah, I mean, win rate after first elim too, 93% for Bumper. So he is deadly, right? Always has a big smile on his face as well. Always likes to do a little bit of the trash talking, which we're always excited about. I'm always up for some of that.
Me too. I mean, it's one of the, I think, the great parts of the league this season is a lot of the players have really opened up with some of the trash talking. Adds a bit more fun and color to the Overwatch League as a whole.
So when you look at this match, I mean, obviously a lot of people would say Vancouver coming into this is the big favorite.
Yep.
We just got done seeing a match where the big favorite got wrecked, kind of. So I don't know, man. I want to predict. I did predict Vancouver. It's not that I wanted to. I actually did literally predict Vancouver on social media. Am I going to get 2 in a row wrong today?
Who knows? And the thing about the Boston Uprising that's dangerous is if they can fix their team fight win rate for tonight, I think that it's their cohesion in the 6 versus 6 that's been lacking. And if that's better tonight, they have a real chance to win.
I agree. Let's take a look at our map list by Toyota. We're going to start things off on Ilios. This is a best of 5, of course, and we're going to go to hybrid after that, and so on and so forth.
Forever.
That's right.
But loser picks map after this. But Ilios, not a surprise. First off, it's the map that is best for 3-3, which is definitely the bread and butter, not only of this meta, but the Vancouver Titans in particular. And they're 4-0 on this map this season. So they're going to start with something very comfortable for them. And I think this is the right call.
So we talked a little bit about what Boston can do to sort of win against Vancouver. And one of those things is kind of watching out for Bumper, right? Bumper does like to get way out there in front of his team. And that gives you a chance to jump the back line if you're Boston, or to maybe isolate and take Bumper out. And as we saw, his team still wins 1 out of 4 fights when Bumper dies first. So it's not going to completely win it for you, but it's going to help out. Maybe if you can get back on Twilight, that's going to be a good spot for you too.
I mean, they're going to be ready for that though, Doa. Haksal going to get into the back line and find Aim God, and this will be a pretty quick mop up here for the Titans.
Well, Haksal, that DPS maestro from Vancouver, obviously playing a lot of the Brigida in this current meta, but once he is unleashed, presumably in stage 2, we're going to see a lot more flashy stuff from him.
Yeah, and we talk about Note at the start of this series being so good against Zenyatta's, but the problem for them is that the Titans, Twilight only dies around 4% of the time first in team fights, so it is very difficult to get back and kill him.
Yep, he's definitely one of our best flex supports in the league. Vancouver kind of say that for everybody on Vancouver, more or less.
You'll notice the Titans are playing less aggressively. They're playing around Twilight here, so they're anticipating that they're going to come after the Zen.
I was to say that, Monty. Then they get aggressive, but they manage to split Fusions off from the rest of the team and take him down. So a great start for Vancouver in this fight. Twilight duking it out. against Kellex, and Kellex finally eliminated by Janu. Boston Uprising sent packing. That staggered kill onto Kellex is going to buy a little bit more percentage for the Titans as well.
And in the pre-show on Watchpoint, they showed how sometimes the self-destruct can be used to split the tank line off from the back line, something the Boston Uprising like to do. But Vancouver Titans is playing as a death ball right now. They're clustered together, and it's not possible to get the self-destruct in.
Rallies for both teams, giving them that extra armor. As Boston tries to push forward here. Summon Sue off in the side of the hallway. Safe. There's going to be a shatter from Fusions coming in. Not going to get a lot. Sound barrier trying to keep the rest of Boston alive as they're in the grab right now. Now Vancouver gets the grab in kind. Here comes the self-destruct. Boston finding nobody, but they do get Bumper after the ultimate from D.Va is used. So a chance for Boston. Vancouver, they got to get one of those 25% fights here. They're going to win it without Bumper.
Yeah, they do, but it's not going to happen this time, Doa.
Nope. Twilight down, and that's going to be Boston finally flipping the point and starting to get their own control percent building.
Yeah, are they going to get any exit kills, though? Obviously, Hawksaw low, and they do with Fusion's Fire Strike. So
they will.
One pursuit kill will allow Boston to get a few more control percent to them, but this is one fight territory, really, at nearly 80% for the Vancouver Titans.
Yep. So Vancouver Titans put themselves in a position where they really just kind of need to win maybe just one more fight to take this round. A lot of times, if you can win it, extend that fight, get a couple kills on the way out, you can get that last bit of percentage. We will see. Though Slime gets knocked down early. That was a good shatter from Fusions to bring that in. Now Bumper in trouble, and Boston striking back. That's a great team fight, and they are going to get a lot of control percent out of this.
Yeah, and a lot of value out of that as well, because they're able to use the Earth Shatter to pick off Slime as he's trying to flank around. So easy elimination onto the Lucio. And now Boston Uprising able to hold on to their Graviton Surge, their Transcendence.
Yeah.
And we feeling pretty good.
It's interesting to see Vancouver on the back foot like this. You do not see that very often from this team in this stage, but Boston with a pretty good position here to make a go at winning this first round here on Ruins.
Yeah, looks like we may be going all the distance, Doa, 99-99 here.
I will take all of that distance in the playoffs, man. I am happy to watch as many maps of Overwatch as I can. This Graviton Surge used by Vancouver. They're going to take Blase out with the charge. Bumper backing away, low health. They need to keep him alive. Down to about 200 HP for a second, but they're able to strike back again. It's going to be the rally from Hawksaw, giving his team the extra armor to get aggressive, and they are going to win this fight against Boston. Boston, though, up to 90 control percent, putting themselves in one fight territory, but they need to take it back as Vancouver, you got to stand on the point. There you go, Bumper back on there, and the control percent building for Vancouver once more.
I mean, Boston can slow push this out, though. They didn't overcommit on those ultimates. Look at the top right now. Color Hex and Note able to get the combo in. It comes down to the support ults from the Titans and whether they can stop it.
Now they got to be efficient, like you said, with those support ultimates. Shatter gets blocked by Fusions. Now
Big Shatter
comes in. Fusions in response gets another one. There's a grab now coming in from Color Hex. Where's the follow-up? Not a lot of damage as the sound barrier used in Vancouver. The ones coming up with the kills here at 99%, but Boston does flip it back somehow. They got to back cap it. Vancouver needs to retake, but with the fight being won, I think they're going to be able to do just that. Overtime bar ticking away right now. Vancouver on the verge of taking the first run here. That charge is not going to take Fusions anywhere, and we are going to round two with Vancouver up 1-0 here on Ilios.
And Boston took the best fight they could right there. They hit the shatter onto Janu's D.Va, gave them an opening to use the Graviton Surge when the defense matrix was unusable, but simply not enough to power through the Titans in the end. 99-99, barely. Vancouver takes the first point.
I mean, it's great to see, though, Boston already giving Vancouver kind of a run for their money in the very first round of the very first map. So more serious faces on the Titan side right now, as they know they're going to be in for maybe a little bit trickier match than they thought it would be. That said, though, they did win the first round anyway. Now we're getting started here on Lighthouse, where Boston showing us a bit of a different look than we normally see.
Especially Blase on the Junkrat here, so even weirder than normal. We're used to seeing Farah, Hammond, and the Sombra on this point, but the Junkrat, a bit of a mix-up right now.
Well, with the Junkrat, you've got so much shield breaking potential, and you can just pour so much damage into the enemy team that if you're playing as that death ball that Vancouver showed us on Ruins, you can really kind of get a lot of damage in there too. Nice sleep on the Summon Sue. Vancouver protecting him, though.
And that's really big because that delayed their opportunity to switch compositions. By getting the sleep onto the Zarya, they can't really return to the point now without giving it up first.
Bumper knocked off immediately. No, with the elimination there. Great start for Boston. But that said, the Titans on the verge of capping it first. In fact, they will. Boston needs to find a way to reapproach. Really bizarre that they would get the early kills but still give the point over. They're still winning the fight, but they got to take this away from Vancouver sometime. Now looks like they finally will.
Yeah, they will, and that's a lot of ult charge the Boston Uprising are going to get already with an EMP.
Yeah.
So they lose 15%. This composition is not easily able to stand on the point. They don't have big health pools. It has to be the Wrecking Ball who goes in there, and mostly this is about splitting people off before they even get there. And we've seen Blase be able to throw down a couple of mines and eject people off for environmental kills already on some of these perilous catwalks near the point.
You really got to watch out for those concussion mans, or you are taking a quick trip down to the beach. Blase dead when he had his ultimate available. Ooh, that's a problem for Boston as Vancouver pushes forward. Luckily, Calix is there to res him, and that's a nice EMP from note onto a lot of members of the Titans. Here comes the tire. Oh, but he doesn't get anybody. That was a little bit bizarre that it ended up being used up there. That said, Boston's still winning the fight in the end.
And they flipped
Vancouver
the point.
Flipped it, though. This is getting crazy, Monty.
It's getting very crazy, and because the point was flipped again, ColorX is going to launch Twilight on the side. Finally, Slime falls, and even though this Wrecking Ball is so low, doesn't look like it. Oh, finally, Janu.
It boots him with the whip shot, I guess, in the end. Actually, hits him with the auto attack. Kellick's there for the res, though. Meanwhile, Vancouver still building that control percentage. They're going to stabilize, it looks like. This has been a bizarre round.
It's been super weird. Boston hasn't been paying attention to the point. The Riptire getting picked off on the high ground, not really going to be doing Boston any favors, and now they've reset their ult economy. It's time to go 3-3 most likely, and that's what they're going to do.
That's right. Unleash the goats, as they say. The triple tank, triple support meta.
This is so brutal, and you can see that Vancouver was ready for this. They were back at spawn to switch Summonsoo over to the Zarya and taxi him back. These are going to be slightly later to the point.
Yep. Vancouver, the outside looking in though. Boston Uprising on the point first, but they got to stay there. Ooh, and that's a nice boot from Slime onto Kelix. That might just do it. Self-destruct catches 2 for Janu. Fusions and Blase down. Aim God takes a dive to reset quicker, and that's going to be Boston heading back to the drawing board, and I don't think they've got a lot of time, man. 90% for Vancouver already.
I think this was a great idea from Boston, Doa, but the problem is that they had to get up to 80-90% with that composition before switching to 3-3. Now they're behind on ult economy, and it's just a disaster.
And you lose fusions at the beginning of the fight, too. There is almost no way for Uprising to come back and tie up this one, and they're not even going to get to the point. That's Vancouver Titans getting the 2-0 on Ilios.
I think
First round looked okay for Boston. Second round, all fusion.
I think it was a good idea. I think it was a great strategy. I just think that because they gave up the point, it ended up being ineffective.
Quick break, and when we come back, we'll see if Boston can tie it up. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Well, it's been the wrath of the Titans so far as they picked up Ilios in short order. A little bit of a struggle on round 1, but round 2, very much in Vancouver's favor. We move on now. It's going to be Kings Row. It's going to be our hybrid map as our second map in this series between Boston Uprising and the Vancouver Titans.
So here's the thing, Noah. There must be a special strategy that the Boston Uprising are going to use because Kings Row, Uprising are 0-2 on this map at this stage, and Titans are 2-0. And I thought
Brave.
that Boston was going to be going with Numbani because there's a chance for them to snowball off of a multi-DPS attack.
Yeah.
Because probably we'd see the Titans running a Reinhardt 3-3 defense where you'd have an advantage. Problem, of course, is that we did see Guangzhou play that into the Titans, and even though they lost point A very quickly, they stabilized and held on B. So maybe they're thinking about that. That's definitely in their mind. Now, you can run a lot of unique strategies on Kings Row attack A and B, so I don't think we're going to see 3-3 from Boston. I think that would be a very terrible idea to try and engage Vancouver in the extended Reinhardt 3-3 composition war.
Indeed. Well, we'll see what they can do on this hybrid map. So in case you're unfamiliar, as you can see on your screen, got to cap the point first, get the payload rolling, and then get it to the end. And if you're on defense, you get to prevent that from happening. If you look at the UI, though, oops, oh. The ritual has begun.
Putting the red X over the Yeti.
That's right. They're Yeti hunting this time. You know, a Yeti really isn't a Titan when you think about it. It's a cryptid. It's an animal rumored to exist, but has not been proven by science yet. So they really should be the Vancouver cryptids if they're going to be the Yeti.
Or just have Saturn as their mascot, right?
That's right, yeah. There you go.
Regardless, they're still devouring the competition, so they're living up to that Titan name to some degree.
I like it. You brought it back around. Clean. Boston on the attack. They are going to go, in fact, for the triple support strategy anyway. What do you think?
I'm really surprised. Maybe they've got something else planned on defense here. You could still bunker up with Orisa and Junkrat potentially, but
True.
I don't think this is going to be a long-term viable winning solution for Boston.
Yeah, Vancouver getting a little bit aggressive on the defense now, trying to find a member of Boston to pick off. Get that short-handed fight going in their favor. So far, so good. Twilight looping around with the right click. Ooh, doesn't find anybody, but that was a nice move. He's an aggressive Zenyatta. I appreciate that. Ooh, Fusion's really low here, and he's going to go down. Bumper finds him with the fire strike, and he's going to drop as well. Twilight taking Blase, so it looks like Vancouver's going to win this fight, but it will be a little bit quicker respawn for Boston. You can see Vancouver really trying to get all the kills they can at the trail end of that fight to give Bumper time to get back.
Yeah, he's going to get back too. He's got the charge on the Reinhardt to make it back in plenty of time, and Boston can't just walk into this next fight without getting some Zarya energy onto Color Hex first. So plenty of time for Bumper to get there. He's already back.
Indeed. He's back. Ready to rock. Boston Uprising heading up the stairs as they try to take the high ground. Pretty important. I learned that from Obi-Wan.
Ooh, that was a nice boop there onto Kelix. A little more damage might have taken him down.
All right, Graviton Surge thrown in. It's going to be a Transcendence from Boston, but they can't protect Fusion. And Vancouver with another team fight win here. Is that Reinhardt out of commission? That's going to be it. Yeah, and Vancouver just chasing again really aggressively to get those exit kills. And so far, so good for the Titans here on defense.
I mean, all too easy. You get a two-player grab onto the... Uh-oh, here he comes. Here's Bumper with another secret shatter. The sneaky ninja shatters coming in.
No, we always say check your corners. This is why.
Check your buses. They don't see him. Yeah, they see him now.
Oh, Aim God. Aim God, you are a hero, man. He knew. You can always count on the flex support. Trust me, I'm a flex support. Here's the grab thrown in by Boston as they try to win this fight. Self-destruct, and that was a great charge by Fusions to remove some of the shielding that Vancouver had, and that may just have delivered that point A. It looks like it has done just that.
Maybe a little bit cocky there. Sometimes when the Vancouver Titans are very far ahead, they try and style on you a little bit. But here's the thing. When you're walking up to the point and you don't see a Reinhardt, you just look for the Reinhardt.
Well, especially on Kings Row, right?
And especially
that Reinhardt
against
is always
Vancouver.
In front, man. Yeah. Oh, Bumper, where could you be? Oh. On the flank, of course. So Vancouver Titans playing themselves a little bit there. It was not a bad idea, but it's kind of obvious. They can take the high ground. Ooh, this is sneaky from Vancouver, too.
They're all... Unfortunately for them, D.Va makes a lot of noise.
Yeah, she can't crouch walk. They didn't build that into the mech, I guess. They're gonna drop down now. Oh, and Bumper! He got interrupted during the animation, I believe. No, that was Fusions actually that dropped the Shatter. My bad. And that's gonna be Boston winning another fight. Titans trying to be sneaky here, but Boston is having none of it. They are so ready.
I think it's an interesting idea when you don't really have any viable ultimates outside of the sound barrier to at least attempt a trick play. Sure. But in the end, they don't actually stop the payload, so they trade a bunch of payload movement for basically Fusions using Earth Shatter. And that is a terrible trade.
Yeah. Now they've got another chance to defend at the end of point B here. Probably. But Boston really flying through the second part of this map. Vancouver needs a good hold here. They need to take a little bit more time off the time bank before point C begins. That's the one you want to hold on, but you at least want to eat as much as you can right now. Graviton Surge ready for Solman Su, looking for a chance to throw that in there. Boston Uprising, they know what's up. They're backing away. When you see that Zarya running right at you, you kind of know what's coming.
Yeah, you definitely do. And even though they have support ultimates, and maybe they could have weathered the storm right there, they're still giving a lot of ground to the Titans.
I'm trying to be efficient with it, but here comes the grab now for the Titans. Can they get the kills out of that? Calyx down. Transcendence comes in, but not in time to save the Lucio. And now Boston, without that sound barrier, they need some answering kills right now, but they're just not getting them. So they're still going to have the Lucio ultimate for the next fight, but for now they're backing away. And they're trying not to lose people, but they lose Fusions anyway.
Here comes the Shatter.
Yeah, there is no blocks for that format from Bumper. Wow, it's almost like you're psychic, Monty. Who could have predicted that?
It's almost like they wanted to make sure the Zarya died, and there was no barrier, so why not just throw it out there for Bumper?
I just love the resigned disappointment in your voice. Here comes the Shatter. Like, you know what's happening. It's like if Garfield was casting Overwatch or something. I love it. Here comes the Shatter.
I don't hate Mondays, though. They're my day off, though, so.
That is true. Monday and Tuesday are kind of like our weekend now. Yeah. I love lasagna, though. Do you love lasagna?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right. So 5 volts up now from the Titans because they only had to really use the Shatter on the exit there. They kept Twilight's Transcendence even though their tank line got low on that last fight. So now Uprising has their work cut out for them.
Yeah, here we go. All right, grab used by Vancouver again. They're going to send in Johnny with the self-destruct and to get rid of the shield. They can, but the sound barrier is there. So nobody dropping from Boston just yet. Now, no responding with his own ultimate, but he gets taken out before he can get back into the mech. And that's a big opportunity for Vancouver here.
I mean, the grab and the self-destruct ended up on opposite sides of the payload.
Yeah, that was bizarre, actually.
A little bit weird there from the Boston Uprising. And now they've got another push, though. Lots of ults had to be used from the Titans, obviously. They still are going to hold on to the sound barrier, but Aim God with the Transcendence. Boston can make this work.
Yeah, they've got not a lot of tools, but they've got the crucial ones they need. You got to be careful, though. Aim God's Transcendence is key here. If he doesn't use it just perfectly, they're going to have a lot of problems. Less than 10 seconds remain. It's now or never. Fusions needs to step back to get a bit of healing. There's a Shatter. Knocks out Twilight. The sound barrier there for Vancouver to keep them safe. And here comes the grab onto Boston Uprising. Calyx down. Not a great start for Boston. And they lose Blase too with that self-destruct. That is going to be where the payload stops for Boston. Vancouver Titans with a solid hold here on Kings Row.
How many times have we seen this from the Titans, Noah? They look like they're going to full hold. Bumper tries the flank Shatter. They give up some ground. They bend, but they never break in the end.
It was still a good hold when it's all said and done. They're going to have a decent chance to attack and go up 2-0 in this series. We'll see if they can do just that when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Vancouver Titans with a good defensive round on Kings Row. Got a little bit silly towards the end of A, but they were able to tighten things up and hold on point B. So they've got a pretty good shot of winning this map. You know, you don't need to push it that far after you take point A.
Yeah, you don't. And with the way that we're seeing things go and with the look that the Boston Uprising are showing us right now, which is Reinhardt Goats, I don't know what their plan is in order to take this. Meanwhile, this may actually be a legitimate strategy here by the Titans. Oh, they're going to switch off.
Don't forget, guys, Stage 1 semifinals, Saturday, March 23rd, 12 p.m. Pacific on ABC. That's going to be great. Can't wait. We're going to be there. How about that? Double sniper coming out from Vancouver Titans right now. Oh, or not. Why you got to play me that way?
I just want to slow roll into this. Sometimes we do see the double sniper attacks. Not this time, however, as it will be. I think they were thinking maybe if it wasn't Reinhardt 3-3, they would have an opportunity to go for it, but too many barriers, too much defense matrix in order to get the damage in from the snipers.
Here we go, Vancouver getting aggressive early on here. Oh, they get right onto Aim God Janu, getting back there. Kind of giving Boston a taste of their own medicine with their Diva taking out the flex support. And Vancouver, it looks like they're gonna roll to a pretty quick A. Boston Uprising can try to fight this again, but I don't know if you want to fight it shorthanded. A lot of low health members. They only have one support with Twilight or with Aim God down now. So yeah, that's going to be a really quick point to take tons of time for Vancouver to finish this map.
And the problem is that when you lose the Zenyatta first and you don't have the AoE healing from the Brigitte because you're not in range to use the melees, you just only have the Lucio healing field. So if your tanks are chunked out, you don't have the Orb of Harmony, so you just can't re-engage, right? There's not a way to do it. So perfect first pick-off here.
Well, that's the thing. 3-3 can be a very low healing comp. If you don't have the Brigitte and they're swinging around and getting that Inspire proc off hitting the enemy. So, Vancouver Titans pushing forward now. Boston Uprising still giving ground. They don't have a lot of ultimates to try to use. There's an early grab for Vancouver, trying to get something done with that. Not a lot of damage done. Boston Uprising weathering the storm without having to use their support ultimates. It's pretty big. Might be time soon. Bumper load. There's the support ultimates actually coming up for both teams. Transcendence versus the sound barrier. Boston uses theirs as well, but now as the trance and the sound barrier end, the kills come in for Vancouver, and they're going to push this thing even farther. It's looking grim for the Uprising.
It is very grim indeed. Aim God going down before they had a chance to use the Transcendence. Bumper
a little bit of style.
Literally flexing on them right now.
Yeah, that's what you do. So,
I mean, there's a grab here, but the sound barrier's there for the Titans, so they have the tools they need to survive the self-destruct.
you know, you go in there maybe with the Transcendence to get really aggressive on this. That's what Boston's going to do. They're going to try to surprise him. Note goes down early as he tries to use his self-destruct. Janu gets Kellex with his self-destruct instead. And Vancouver just rolling over Boston. The Titans have come to feed, and that's going to be a 2-0 lead in style for Vancouver.
Why do you pick Kings Row if you're 0-2 on it, Uprising, and you have nothing besides playing Vancouver style against them?
Third time's a charm, I guess?
No.
Not this time. Not for Boston. They're 0-3 on that map now. We'll see if they can bring it back after halftime. We'll see you then.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
The Vancouver Titans have come out in full force right now as they're up 2-0 over the Boston Uprising at the half. Bumper and company looking ever so dominant. Welcome, guys. Malik here. We got the Brits, both Bryn and Sideshow here for halftime for the first time.
They said it couldn't be done.
They said it shouldn't be done.
Exactly.
It wasn't good.
We should not be on the same camera at the same time. Not ideal, really.
Some kind of
for any
weird,
parties.
Oh boy,
mysterious forces at work.
We're also both wearing blue. We could be confusing each other right now.
Oh boy,
we're big Titans fans.
You guys feeling good to be reunited? You good? You good? You good?
You know, give or take. It's hit or miss with this guy around usually. When he's not messing around in the back and all the rest of it.
Right.
We've got games to break down. Maybe we should.
Let's go ahead and jump into it now, guys. Vancouver, they actually look like themselves today. So far, up 2-0. What did you guys see in that first half that stood out to you the most?
I would personally say that it just looks like Titans are playing their own game.
Yeah.
And Boston, although they said that they would rather play against Titans than NYXL, because both of these two teams have aggressive play styles driven by their main tank, they're just kind of getting destroyed. They're trying to play Titans' game, but Titans are better.
No, I completely agree with you, Josh. And this comes down to what I was talking about in the pre-game as well, in the watch point before the games went live today. And the main point that I was talking about was Boston, they have these set plays, and you can definitely see them trying to execute a lot of them. They have a lot of set engagements, plans of attack, if you like. But the Vancouver Titans, their chaotic, their high momentum play style has really just forced them out of their comfort zone. And I think it is throwing them off as well in a significant amount of ways. More notably, I think, Josh, you were saying as well, in the back, a lot of their alter tracking is actually completely off as well for the Boston.
Yeah, a little bit. I think they're struggling with the high tempo. Maybe a bit of the playoffs pressure is getting to them. I mean, playoffs are always a different beast, and for a team that doesn't have as much experience, yes, Boston have been in playoff scenarios before, but not necessarily with this team, and not with Fusions as well. He's quite a dominant main caller within this team, and he doesn't have that experience underneath that kind of level of pressure.
Right. I will say, though, I did enjoy seeing the Uprising try some new stuff. You know, they threw the Junkrat out there, the Sombra, just against the Titans, just not working. They're just
it forces Sominsu to play McCree, and that is never that fun to watch, honestly.
But did you see the way he just stayed in spawn? They baited him to switch back to triple tactical support.
Yes.
It was really class, you know.
Small victories. All right, so let's move on to King's Row. This was pretty much not even King's Row. It was Bumper's Row, because Bumper's the king. He was the king of this match. He completely dominated that entire match.
He really did. What an unreal player.
This was so weird, though, because this was Boston's map pick. And realistically speaking as well, Boston, they are 0-2 on this map so far in this season. And Titans, they're 2-0. So it's like...
They were feeling it today, Brett.
They were feeling it.
Were
they really feeling it?
This is our game. This is our one to win.
I think it felt like being full held in the streets, mate. That's what I was thinking. Because
I know. But it's so difficult going up against Titans for
it really is,
because they're trying to play a similar kind of style where it's driven by the main tank, and Bumper's getting the better end of it. I love how he's using his Earth Shatters. They're so well coordinated. Boston are trying to kind of play similarly, but Bumper's just out here styling on them.
Just styling. He just looks so comfortable. And here we go. If you look at the stats, Bumper almost doubles him in most categories.
This is just absurd, isn't it? Like, look at the hero damage done, doubling. It's just really kind of highlighting as well his aggressive playstyle and how well he's supported. The fact that he has less deaths as well. Yeah. You know, he's kept alive in a lot of these engagements, and he's dishing out damage, and he's building up way more Earth Shatters as a result.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not saying that Fusions is playing badly here as well. This isn't meant to be a knock on Fusions. His team was getting rolled, but Bumper's absolutely styling. I love this one. Earth Shatter kills is so high because they use Bumper's Earth Shatter to just at the end of fights when they don't even need the Earth Shatter to be used, but they use it to build up other people's ultimates. So when all the players are scattered on the ground after they've already got the pick on Fusions, Sominsu will just run around like he's got a vacuum cleaner hoovering everybody up. And as they all die, he's got another grav. And so it's so hard to play against this team because they just use their ults perfectly to be able to help each other and build up those bigger ults.
There's just no room for error against the Vancouver Titans. So if you're the Boston Uprising, you're down 0-2, like what is something that you can, like a weakness you can exploit in the Titans? What can you do to slow this team down?
For me, it's less about exploiting weaknesses, and I think it's more about Boston Uprising having to get their head in the game.
Okay.
Because, yes, I think they're already trying to abuse a lot of the weaknesses, a lot of the win conditions that we talk about on a regular basis, like Bumper when he starts playing like a maniac, hiding around corners. Like, they're reading into that, not getting caught off guard like that. For me, it's more like Boston needing to change their mindset a lot of the time. Calm down a little bit, playoffs maybe getting to them, you know, calm those nerves, start really collecting their thoughts as well before they go into some of these engagements.
All right. Any words for you?
I think it's very difficult to be able to play against the Titans. You've got to try and minimize your mistakes.
Yeah.
They need a very clear plan when they come into all of these fights. And something I'd like to see them tighten up a little bit more is their aggression, is being able to actually put a lot of pressure on the Titans. They're playing a little scared, backing off a huge distance when they're playing against Rally or playing against like the sound barrier.
Yeah.
I'd like to give them, try and give Titans as little respect as possible.
Right. It's all or nothing. If you're going to commit full fledged. All right, guys. Well, tall mountain to climb for the Boston Uprising. Can they live up to their mantra and rise up over an 0-2 lead? We're going to find out in just a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Want a selfie again? You know what's up.
Boston Uprising down 0-2 to the Vancouver Titans right now. They got to dig deep. They're going to come back in this series, but so far, Vancouver looking pretty untouchable.
I mean, they had a brief hiccup that was one of their own creation,
Yes.
and then it
As
was...
they do.
And as they do when they get super confident. You can tell that Vancouver is extremely confident that they are going to win a map if you see a play like that. And guess what? They delivered easy roll through A and B on their attack round, and here we are, going to Temple of Anubis now.
Hey, well, I mean, this has been a good map for Boston, so we'll see if they can maybe employ some of the same tricks that they used earlier in some of their stage wins. But I don't know. I got to say, the thing that Boston's been really good at with Note is killing flex supports. You got Twilight, who's one of the least likely flex supports in the league to die.
I think he's second least likely.
Right, we saw that like 4% was the amount of times he died first in a team fight. So for a team like Boston that really relies on those picks, it's going to be so tough.
And the crazier stat, Noah, is that even when you kill Twilight, they still win 31% of their team fights when Twilight dies first. So you can kill him, but they still have a darn good shot of actually winning the team fight afterwards.
Well, Vancouver's been one of the best just like scrappy teams in the league where even if you take somebody out first, because we saw that 25% win rate even if Bumper falls before anyone else as well. So you got to take at least 2 of these guys out if you want to have a real shot at winning that team fight.
And the thing about the Uprising is they lost this map to Seoul. But this is also the only Assault map that Vancouver Titans have lost, and they've only lost it once so far this stage. They're undefeated on the other 2 Assault maps in this pool, and you know what? This is the best point to not play 3-3. Point A on Anubis is possible to full hold still if you're good at Widow and you're good at Junkrat with a Reson defense.
Very true. Boston Uprising on the attack first as Vancouver takes up the defense. Got to take point A. If you take point A, you get a chance to take point B. That's how the Assault map works.
And you'll notice they're playing the Winston on the defense because they assume Boston's going to do something wacky here. But instead, They're going to be able to take this high ground in for free. The Winston has to come in with a Zarya bubble just to try and charge up. But Bumper already at 70% of a primal. This has been a successful defense so far for Vancouver.
Yeah, to have that Winston ultimate available for the very first fight, essentially, the very first real fight on the point, it's gonna be huge. That's what you need. Bumper, ooh, a little bit lucky, didn't get stunned there by the Brigida. Now jumps down, doesn't have a lot of health left. He has to primal just to stay alive.
Perfect timing on that primal generation, though.
No kidding, man. He had it just in the nick of time here. Gets the kill on AimGod, he juggled him. And now gets pinned, Fusions takes him out, but it doesn't matter. Vancouver coming back with a kill on the Note as well. So the Titans striking back yet again. They've got the Graviton Surge so fast too, and that's gonna be a successful defense for the Titans, and it's exactly what we're talking about coming into this map, man. You can kill one of the members of Vancouver, but that's not gonna win you the fight.
But what it did do is Fusion's charge onto Bumper allowed the Vancouver, or forced the Vancouver Titans rather, to use the Graviton to clean up the fight. So actually that was pretty successful from the Boston Uprising. They are now returning with what's gonna be 5 ultimates.
Yeah. We'll see if they can take it in their second effort here. Vancouver wants to, oh, that's a big pick on the AimGod from Sominsu. Boston without their Zenyatta is going to really kind of struggle, and they're just going to go right back to spawn. You can't lose your flex support like that early in a fight.
No, you can't, and especially not when you're coming in with what could have been an ultimate advantage for them. I mean, Bumper had to switch over to the Reinhardt. Now he's nearly caught up with Fusions when it comes to that Earth Shatter, and you had a real shot there, Boston Uprising, to win, but you had to win on that attack. AimGod going down is a disaster.
Well, you know, credit to the Titans to really know who to target in that situation, how to slow things down and build the most ultimate charge. That's what they did. Oh, they've got Fusion split off a little bit, barely gets back to his team. They have to use the sound barrier to keep people up. Now the Transcendence comes in from Titans, so his Bumper dropped a bit low too. Oh, nice counter shatter onto AimGod, and Fusion's out of there. The charge comes through. Fusion's caught by Janu's self-destruct. No tries to drop his own, no kills out of that. That's another team fight win for Vancouver. They had to throw everything but the sound barrier at them, but now Boston with only that Earth Shatter remaining.
Sominsu was just standing on top, beaming them to death. Death from above from Sominsu, and that means the Vancouver Titans, really easy win. Boston Uprising throwing all their ultimates in willy-nilly on that attack.
One of the most crucial things you can do in the 3-3 meta is get your Zarya on the high ground and just start wrecking people with the beam from above. Kellick's down early, another big support pick from Vancouver. Are you kidding me? Boston, you gotta protect your supports. You can't let this keep happening.
Color Hex gonna die as well. I mean, that was just the Earth Shatter from the Titans too. They're gonna have all 3 support ultimates. They stagger Note out at the end. This is going to be the last fight. Uprising, they have nothing defensive. They have no sound barrier, no transcendence, and no rally.
Yeah.
How do you survive Sominsu? He's gonna have another grab in like 5 seconds.
Well, all signs indicate a full hold by Vancouver Titans. Boston Uprising going to need to win a big fight to get any chance to keep this map going. I'm gonna say, I don't have a crazy defense. They do get Huxall early, that's a good start, but a Shatter comes in. All right, Graviton Surge as well. Sound barrier used now by the Titans to try to stay alive. Counter Shatter comes in from Bumper. Meanwhile, a lot of members locked up in the grab from Vancouver. They get someone to the point just in time to force overtime. 1 tick taken here.
Sominsu dying right there is huge, though. They only have 4 members left on the Titans. This looks like too aggressive an attack.
Oh, they charge into each other, and Fusions can't stay up. Vancouver Titans with an opportunity here as Huxall gets back to the point in time. Starts to get the healing rolling, Bumper down anyway. Looks like Boston might have actually found it. How in the world? Well, I'll tell you how, man. Vancouver got themselves split up.
That is such a clutch kill onto Sominsu at the end there. Also, great presence of mind of Color Hex to switch to the Widowmaker to try and cover on the point. That means they're going to wrap it up. So Boston Uprising takes advantage of a sloppy engagement there from the Titans, and they're going to turn it in to a pretty nice advantage here. And now, because of that, they're going to have 3 support ults on this push. Only a Transcendence available from the Titans, and oh, this could be a really fast snowball.
This is the turnaround you want if you're Boston. They managed to make it work. Miracle play, man. Now they're throwing in the self-destruct. No kills out of that one, but they've got Vancouver split up. They do get Janu, actually, with that self-destruct. AimGod finishes him off. Now it's going to be the sound barrier Transcendence from Vancouver to try to keep Bumper alive. Dropped low, got healed just in the nick of time here, but Boston's still on the point. Ooh, Hoxall gets one. There goes Bumper. Transcendence coming in from the Uprising side now to try to keep everybody alive. And with the kills coming in from Boston, they've got a chance to maybe get some time. Janu self-destruct doesn't pick up anybody here. Fusion stays alive too. Boston resilient in this attack. And they're actually doing it, man. Now Bumper comes back in again. He's not going to live too long. They're going to force him right back off the point again. And Vancouver Titans talk about dropping the ball. Now, I'm not just talking about wrecking ball, man. This defense collapsed so fast. Fusion's finally down. Can the Titans turn this one?
I think they can with that sound barrier, Doa. They're slowly whittling away the members.
Well, Twilight. Note finds another one. Blase back in on the hand here, and Aim God has the Transcendence, the Zenyatta ultimate, keeping everybody healed, but Vancouver still with the advantage. They're going to push everyone back, so at the last possible second, they managed to get a bit of stability on point B.
Yeah, no going to get out, too, without being D-backed, so that is a major win. Because otherwise there's a stagger on the D.Va here on this final point. Can be absolutely devastating. But still, Vancouver playing with fire a little bit. That was an excellent opportunity for the Uprising to come in and just go ahead and clean sweep this map with plenty of time left on the clock.
Yeah.
Vancouver holds on, though, just barely.
I mean, Vancouver really got away with one there. That was nearly a guaranteed one fight from Boston. I mean, oh, big shatter coming in from Bumper now. Knocks a lot of members of Uprising down, but they got the sound barrier off anyway. Color Hex taken out early. Bumper somehow got him with the charge, but they paid for it with a kill onto Hoxall here. Janu with that self-destruct. Doesn't hit anybody with it, but they do manage to demech Note throughout all of that as well.
Gotta stay on the point now. Only that little bit of a tick remaining.
Yep. Yeah, Bumper died, but what else is new? Oh, and Aim got the Transcendence just a little bit too late to save Fusions, and Vancouver Titans, they're going to hold this thing for a little bit longer, and now we're down to just a minute remaining for Boston on the attack.
I mean, Color Hex dying at the start of that attack was absolutely devastating. That should never have been a shatter that hits, and guess who's here, Doa? It's Bumper.
I've seen this one before.
Yeah, you know how this movie ends, but it probably... No, they're not going to check for a Reinhardt potentially right here because you wouldn't see the Reinhardt necessarily from this position.
You would not expect it most of the time, but now Bumper in a little bit of trouble. They got the Zarya shield on him to try to keep him alive, but he did get booped back towards the Boston Uprising team. It's a melee in front, and Bumper falls first. Vancouver Titans, are they giving it away another one? Sound barrier comes in, but Boston just gets to slow push the point and let that shield expire here. Now Vancouver trying to use a rally. They're going to do a solo grab onto Somitsu. Can they finish him? Self-destruct takes out Color Axe, and oh no, Boston losing everybody. Vancouver Titans have held again, and now they're getting aggressive. If they can finish off Kelix, that's going to seal the deal. They do just that.
And now they have to use Wrecking Ball, the Boston Uprising, simply to get back to the point in time.
Yep, trying to race a Wrecking Ball. Fusions is there, but he's not going to make it. Can he even face overtime? They use the shatter, and Bumper just dancing around on there. They can't reach the point, and that's going to be Vancouver barely holding it. It got a little bit silly at the end there, but they got the
tactical crouching was real, and it did get a little bit silly, Noah.
That's Vancouver, though. This is what we're used to seeing from these guys now. They managed to defend despite kind of giving their opponents every opportunity. See Fusion's trying to give his team a pep talk there, as that's got to be a frustrating one. Quick break, and then Vancouver on the attack, trying to win it.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Vancouver Titans with the lead here and a hold on point B here on Temple of Anubis. Remember, this is match point here for the Titans. If they can win this map, they will win the series and move on to the semifinals on Saturday. Boston, of course, knows that. You got to dig deep, man. This is the moment. You got to put up a crazy solid defense.
You know, Doa, I thought we might see something that was a little more all-in on point A.
Scary pillar.
I thought we might see the Boston Uprising going for something that wasn't Rhine 3-3, but they're going for the Rhine 3-3. They're going to fake Winston 3-3 probably with fusions. We'll keep an eye on his position. No, they're not. He's just going to stand on the high ground. They're going to defend the choke point. So everything is very standard right now.
All right, Vancouver Titans going for a quick left rotation. Trying to come around through that narrow stairway. Push Boston off the high ground. Remember, all they need to do is take A and then take most of point B to win the map and the series. All over Boston right now. They come back in with a little stun onto Bumper. Hawks all down early. Good start for Boston. Can they continue? Ooh, Janu down as well. So it looks like Boston Uprising building some crucial ult advantage here. But Bumper already has the Earth Shatter actually on Vancouver.
He did so much damage just waltzing through that choke point.
Swing away with that hammer and you build it fast.
Yeah, I mean,
probably a good fire strike too through the middle of the Boston team. That builds a lot of charge.
It definitely can. Fusion's up near his as well, but very standard defense. Nothing too weird here from the Titans. Now, Titans have an opportunity to actually push onto the high ground and maybe drop onto the point with Shatter, but they're just going to go through the choke one more time.
Yep, that's the plan. I think they're going to maybe try to surprise him with that Shatter, and they weren't expecting it. That's your Shatter coming in. Bumper down as he gets aggressive, though. Fusion's used his as well, and it's going to be Boston Uprising coming out on top.
Fusion's got that Shatter up on the approach, and what a heads-up play from Fusions to use it immediately on the counter. Obviously, Vancouver did not think Fusions had the Shatter up, and he barely managed to pull it off in time.
I mean, that's Fusions on Reinhardt. That's one of the reasons why this guy has been such a standout performance so early on. I mean, he's a rookie, man. They brought him up from contenders, and he's been performing so well. And
they got to get him back, though. That's the problem. He's not on the point.
He'll get that. There we go. All right, rally on both sides. Both teams getting that extra armor from the Brigida. Now the sound barrier comes into Boston. It's going to be the Graviton Surge. Vancouver, can they follow anything up with that, though? Oxall really low. Can they keep him alive? They can't keep Bumper alive. That's a problem. Twilight caught by that self-destruct as well. And now Vancouver reeling a little bit, although they will have some ultimates coming up on this next fight, whereas Boston's going to be a little bit lacking in that category.
That's right, and it's so bad because they used their trance and their sound barrier and stacked them on top of each other, despite the fact that Vancouver did not have the self-destruct to throw into that Graviton Surge. So Boston, yeah, I think that was a bit of a misuse of their ult economy there, and they reset themselves.
Well, here we go. Sound barrier used by Vancouver as they just try to get in there and brawl with Boston Uprising. Fusions the first to fall, and I think there's going to be a lot left. It's going to be the go-ahead Earth Shatter from Bumper to finish off the members of Boston. That's going to almost certainly be a point A take for the Titans.
But that was a good play from the Boston Uprising because they knew they were at a massive disadvantage, so they had to play aggressively. Charge and see if you can get the lucky Reinhardt charge kill. You forced out the sound barrier, so not all is lost, and Boston actually is able to recharge a lot of their ults as a result of that. So that's really smart shot calling from the Boston Uprising, but it's still, they've got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they're going to have the Transcendence for Aim God, but Twilight's got his already too. So when it all comes down to it, Vancouver, I think, just as well equipped as Boston coming into this one. Rallies are going to be in parity. Blase just getting his now. It's going to be the earlier rally coming in from Vancouver. Boston responding in kind. This is the fight. Janu down early. Fusions finds a good one as Janu tries to go for his self-destruct, taking advantage of him being out of the mech. There goes Bumper. So Titans not going to take it on this push.
That was a great shatter from Fusions.
Yet another one.
Yeah, they knew that the self-destruct was going to be available. Fusions was playing around that. Manages to eliminate Janu when he's in his Pilot Diva form after tossing his mech out right there. And they start building up some of their support ultimates as well. Vancouver was desperate to get in there. They reset themselves. So 4 minutes, still a long, long time for the Boston Uprising, but it's starting out well here on the B defense.
Yeah. And they've just got to hold on. You know, I mean, if you had heart rate monitors hooked up to these guys right now, they'd be going crazy. But you just got to stay calm, fight the fights as they come. make your ults efficient. Graviton surge by the Titans as they decide to go on the attack there. Blase down early, Bumper with a big charge. Janu D-Mech though, no, that self-destruct could change things. Bumper down, he gets caught by it. So Boston with a chance to come back in this fight, and they do. Maybe another hold for Boston, but they needed to use nearly everything for that.
Yeah, and the thing about that, Doa, is that while we had the Boston Uprising come in, they had to use that Graviton Surge because Somin Su used his aggressively, so they got the pin. That means that they're able to really commit into that fight, and they have to in many ways because they're already a player down, so they have to use a Transcendence. Maybe they would have liked to have saved that. And now Vancouver Titans, they're walking in with a trance. They're going to have that sound barrier available to them. Lots of sticking power with healing for the Titans onto this point.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things with the Titans is they came into point B with so much time in the time bank that you have time to be a bit leisurely in your pushes. You can build up those ultimates and come at them with a huge advantage. Vancouver, a little bit of poking, a little bit more damage, and they're going to have that big ult advantage. But Vancouver doesn't poke. They just attack. That's it. They're going in right now. Transcend, so they can't keep Bumper alive. Oh, Bumper, why do you do this to us? That's a great shatter again from Fusions to throw down against Somin Su. Fusions down, though, after using his own ultimate. Doesn't matter. Kelix is going to grab two, and Boston holding again. Vancouver, I think they need to tighten things up a little bit here. These last couple pushes have looked a bit sloppy.
I mean, Bumper was too far in front of his team, so he actually got line of sight cut off from the Transcendence, so he didn't get healing. That's another good shot call by the Boston Uprising. And they come out of that, they only had to use the Shatter and the Sound Barrier, so they'll be feeling comfortable on this defense.
Yeah, I mean, Bumper wants to go deep when he attacks. Let him, let him get in there.
Cut him off with a Rhine Shield. You can just make sure he doesn't get healed.
Yeah. Boston really kind of doing a good job picking apart Vancouver's preferred method of attacking here right now. We'll see if they can keep it up. Vancouver with a few more ultimates. They're going to have the Graviton Surge self-destruct combo between Somin Su and Janu in just a moment here. As they push forward, Boston Uprising uses a rally, getting that extra armor here. There's a sound barrier from Vancouver. Where's the combo? Somin Su waiting for a chance to drop that grab. That mini black hole in there. There's the Graviton Surge right now. Janu, is he going to use the self-destruct? Yes, he is. Somin Su charge up. A lot of damage, and that's a great move. Big play from Slime to set up the double kill. They lose Hawksaw. Fusion, though, gets nothing with the return shatter, and that could be it right there. Vancouver Titans winning the fight they needed to fight, and now can they handle the respawns? They're halfway there. They just got to get to that yellow tick to finish this map and finish the series. They're so close. And they've got it. That is it. Vancouver Titans will take Temple of Anubis. That's a 3-0.
And they make it look easy, Noah.
They really do.
All right, this was always going to be a hard match for the Boston Uprising against our #1 seed here in the Stage 1 playoffs. Vancouver comes in and plays exactly like we expect them to. Boston Uprising tries to meet them in the 3-3 and falls short.
Yep, that's right. I think Boston Uprising, especially on Anubis, had a good game plan coming into this one. Definitely a solid team. They're out of the Stage 1 playoffs now, but they did make Vancouver work for it a bit. And certainly going to be a team to watch out for as Stage 2 gets rolling.
I wish we had seen some more looks from the Boston Uprising, Noah. I wish we had seen them try something a bit crazier, because I think trying to fight Vancouver in a mirror is sort of a fool's errand.
Yeah. Well, as many teams have tried, and so far no one's been able to do it. Vancouver Titans, if you include the regular stage, they're 8-0 in matches now in this season, and they're looking pretty unstoppable. With New York out of the playoff picture too, Vancouver's looking like a favorite. Let's talk to one of them right now. Danny has Hawksaw waiting for an interview.
Monty Dua, thank you very much. Yes, that is correct. I am here with Hawksaw from Vancouver Titans. Congratulations, you guys will be moving up to the semifinals. And now, Hawksaw, I gotta ask, since NYXL is now out of the picture, do you feel like you guys will have an easier time winning Stage 1 playoffs? 자, 아무래도 아쉽게 좀 뉴욕이 탈락을 해서 스테이지 1 플레이오프 좀 더 쉽게 밴쿠버 팀이 우승을 할까 생각을 하는데 어떻게 생각하시나요?
저는 지금 하던 대로만 하면 쉽게 우승할 것 같아요.
So I feel like if we just play like how we've been continuously been playing, I feel like we will definitely be winning the Stage 1 playoffs. All right, and also talking about the playoffs, on Saturday you guys will be now facing off against Seoul Dynasty. How do you think that affects your preparation? 자, 아무래도 좀 많은 분들이 뉴욕과의 경기를 할 거라고 예상을 했지만은 이제 서울과 경기를 하게 될 텐데 좀 어떻게 준비 과정이 좀 많이 달라질 거라고 생각하시나요?
준비는 그냥 지금까지 하는 대로 연습하면 그냥 다 쉽게 이길 것 같아요.
I feel like if we just keep practicing and play how we've always been practicing, I think it's going to be an easy fight anyways. All right, cool. Thank you very much, Haksa. That's it from me. Back to you, Montiendo.
Thank you, Danny. And yeah, it's hard to disagree with Hawksall making it look easy there. And I'd say, yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. That's going to mean our first semifinal on Saturday is going to be the Vancouver Titans taking on the Seoul Dynasty. That should be a really sick match. Kind of the old guard of Korean Overwatch versus the new guard. That should be a fun one. And a lot of players who have played each other in finals in Korea, actually, back in Apex.
Yeah, you look at players like Haksal, you know, definitely a classic matchup up against the old Lunatic High roster, which forms the core of the Seoul Dynasty. So a lot of storylines going into that one. Should be really fun to watch, especially if Seoul can continue rolling and maybe pull off another upset.
That is going to be an awesome match, man. I'm excited. Let's talk about our player of the match. Who do you think it is, Monty? Doesn't matter, don't answer. I'll tell you, it's Bumper. That's right, the main tank for Vancouver Titans. You know, he's crazy, he's insane, he loses his team's fights once in a while, but he mostly wins. He attack, he don't really protect, but he usually
definitely
wins.
does not protect very much.
He's not really protect.
He's all about the damage for the Reinhardt, all about making space for the rest of his team.
That's right.
And that's exactly what he's going to do in the match tonight. One of course, the most fun personalities I think we have in the Overwatch League. His play style also speaks for itself.
Absolutely. Bumper, our Omen by HP player of the match for our second quarterfinal match here on the Overwatch League. And yeah, what can you say? This guy's a ton of fun. Look at those stats. His deaths, pretty high, but hey, he got just as many ultimate stuns as he did deaths there. I don't know if that's a good stat or not really, Bumper, but you know, you entertain us.
He definitely does.
I appreciate that.
He definitely does.
That's right. Well, we'll see if he can keep it up. The thing is like, Vancouver Titans have just been so crazy, right? Coming in as one of our expansion teams this year, really rolling over nearly everybody they met. Only a couple 3-2s in there against Chengdu, I believe, and Guangzhou Charge was one of them. But man, what a day of Overwatch it was. Of course, in our first series, we saw that awesome Seoul victory over NYXL. Vancouver taking it in style later against Boston. We're not done yet, guys, so stay tuned. The Watch Point post show is coming up next. Can't wait for another set of playoffs as well tomorrow. Watch that post show, get some sleep, come back again. We'll see you there.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.